Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So guys, another week of me being consistent. Yay me, right? Are you proud of me? Let's hope it continues. So if you've been following me for a while, you will know that the main things that I talk about on my channel is marriage, relationships and motherhood. And that is simply because I love being a wife, I love being a mum, and I enjoy sharing my experiences, you know, in a hopes to encourage, inspire and uplift other young wives and other young mums. And I will continue to do that. However, it's not everyday marriage, it's not everyday motherhood. And today I want to take a look back at a time and season in my life that feels like such a long time ago. And to be honest, it was a long time ago, and that was when I was single. Now, to be exact, it was 12 plus years ago that I was single. And although it seems like such a distant memory, every time I think back to that time in my life, I remember feeling very happy, feeling very fulfilled and really enjoying that time. And I feel like nowadays, in the day and age that we live in, you know, with social media and magazines and, you know, pretty much everywhere you look, you know, movies, etc., being in a relationship is kind of really pushed and shoved in your face, whether you like it or not. And if you are in a relationship, you kind of feel a pressure to have the perfect relationship. And if you're not in a relationship, you basically are made to feel like a bit of a loser. You know, you can feel like maybe there's something wrong with you, you're missing out on something great, and maybe, you know, you're not good enough. I feel like that's the furthest thing from the truth. And so today I wanted to kind of discuss some of the reasons that I feel, you know, young people can enjoy being single. You know, of course, marriage is a beautiful thing, but I also believe that being single is a crucial and amazing season in a young person's life. So if you want to hear a little bit more about that, stay tuned. So many of you will know that I became a Christian at a pretty young age. You know, I gave my life to Jesus when I was just 16 years old. When I chose to make that decision, I had a boyfriend at the time, and as soon as I got saved, I told him, look, we can't be together anymore. I want to focus on God and I want to focus on building my relationship with God. And so I cut that relationship off, and straight away I decided that, you know what, I wanted to use the next however long to be single and just to focus on my relationship with God and focus on getting to know myself again. Because, you know, I feel like sometimes when you're in a relationship you can lose who you are. And so I just wanted to focus on, you know, this new fresh time in my life, and I started to make all the right decisions. I would say, you know, before I became a Christian, I was already somebody that, you know, had quite high standards. You know, I knew that there was guys out there who basically only want you for one thing. And so even when I was in school, you know, all my friends were having boyfriends and doing this and doing that, and, you know, losing their virginity and going out and basically just not valuing themselves. And my mum always taught me and my sister from a young age that, you know what, you need to set your standards so high. You can't just let any guy come in and treat you however he wants. And so I would say that I always had quite high standards. However, you know, when I got saved, I had a new sense of identity, I had a new sense of value and a new sense of worth. And because of that, my standards were now even higher. And, you know, not in a boastful way, but in a sense, yeah, I did think I was nice. You know, I did know that, you know, God placed a very high value on me, and so I needed to value myself. And I think that is where a lot of young women go wrong these days. You know, they don't see the value in themselves, and so basically they accept anything. And I'm gonna be doing a video on that, probably my next video, so I'll go into that in more detail. But yeah, I had a very deep sense of value, a very deep sense of worth, and I really enjoyed that time, you know, just getting to know myself again and getting to know God, you know, and allowing God to change me, and allowing God to be my focus and not a man and not a relationship. And that was a really, really important time for me, because in that time God was able to kind of mold and shape my mindsets, and, you know, all the plans and visions that I had really did kind of take root in my heart during that time of being single. And so I'm really glad that as soon as I got saved, I kind of just had that time to focus on God and focus on myself. And so obviously, you know the story that I got married to my husband after that. And, you know, in being in a relationship for such a long time, I would say there's so many great things about being in a relationship. However, I think there's so many great things about being single that I actually miss about being single. And so I'm going to be sharing reasons why I think you should enjoy being single and reasons you can focus on in your season of being single. So, number one, when you are single, you can take time to get good at something. You know, when you get in a relationship, oftentimes you're trying to find out what the other person's likes are, what the other person's interests are, and you kind of dive into someone else's life, you know, to find out what they like. And it is something you should be doing if you're in a relationship, you know, obviously trying to get to know a person. You need to find out what their interests are. And, you know, a lot of the times we kind of lose ourselves in that. And so when you're single, I feel that is a great time to kind of focus on yourself and focus on, you know, getting to know the things that you're good at and working on the things you're good at. You know, sometimes we can neglect ourselves when we're in a relationship. And so, you know, taking that time to find out what your strengths are, find out what your weaknesses are, find out what your passion is, you know, find out what you want to do with your life, find out what you want to do career-wise, and really focus on that and really take time to, you know, invest in things for yourself. You know, not only do you focus on that other person's wants and desires, but oftentimes you can even forget what your dreams are and what your passion is. And, you know, when you're single, you don't have anybody to think about in that way. You don't have to commit to placing so much value on someone else's dreams and someone else's visions. And, you know, I'm not saying it's a good thing to lose yourself in a relationship. I'm just saying that's sometimes what happens. And so when you're single, I think that is the best time to kind of focus on everything that you want to do and everything that you want out of life, and just to basically be a little bit selfish. Sometimes you get in a relationship and you get very comfortable and, you know, and you get a bit complacent and you kind of put your dreams and your desires to the side and you focus on that other person. Especially as women, I feel like women do this a lot. You get in a relationship and, you know, maybe you become a wife, you become a mum, and sacrificially you just put all your dreams on hold, you put all your desires on hold, and that is a great thing. But I feel like when you're single, that is the time to, you know, pursue whatever career you want to pursue and, you know, focus on everything that you want for your life and plan it accordingly before you get into a relationship and before you start having children, so that you're able to achieve both. The second thing that you can enjoy whilst being single is something that I call spontaneous socializing. So when you're in a relationship, you can't just get up and do whatever you want to do. If you're a couple and you're chilling together and then someone asks you, oh, do you want to do this? You're gonna kind of feel bad to just get up and go and say, oh, sorry babe, you know, we can't chill anymore. You're gonna always have to consider someone else, and so you're not gonna be able to just spontaneously go out and do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And I think, you know, when you're in a relationship, you lose a certain sense of spontaneity, and not to say you should, but you do, because you have someone else to consider, you know, and it's not fair to do that. You know, you can still go out and socialize, of course, but it's just not going to be the same as when you're single, when you have no one else to think about. And even financially, you know, when you're a couple, you might have to consider, you know, babe, have we got enough money for me to go out this weekend? Whereas when you're single, you can just look at your account and say, yep, that bill is paid, this bill is paid, I can do whatever I want to do with the money that I have left over. So I remember, you know, when I was single, exactly that. You know, when I wanted to go out, I would get up and go out. You know, every week I would go here, I would go there. But, you know, being married, you have someone else to consider, you have children to consider. You can't just spend however you want to spend. So I think it's definitely important to enjoy that time of being single, for the simple fact that you can get up and do whatever you want to do, you know, and that spontaneous life is for you. Another reason why you can enjoy being single and be satisfied in being single is during that time you can use that season to fall in love with yourself. And I think this is such an important one, because when you don't take the time to get to know yourself and, you know, really find out what you like and what you dislike and what is a deal breaker for you and what you want from a relationship, if you just rush into a relationship just so that you can say you're in one, you will find that you're compromising yourself. How can you expect someone to know and love you if you don't even know and love yourself? Being by yourself is the perfect perfect time to get yourself together. So for all you ladies that are dying to be in a relationship, I want to ask you a few questions. You want to be a wife so badly, but are you ready to be selfless? Are you ready to have to take care of a household? Are you ready to have to give a part of yourself to somebody else? Are you ready for the responsibility that comes along with being a wife? Because trust me, there are many. And it's not to say that because you don't feel ready, you can't do it, but it's better to take the time and just to work on certain things on yourself rather than getting into a relationship. You know, when you look online and you see relationships and you see people walking past you holding hands and they look all perfect and they look so happy, just be careful what you wish for, because you can look at a relationship on the outside and think that they look like the perfect couple, but nobody knows what goes on behind the closed doors but them and God, you know. So we can look at things and idolize it and think, you know, people look so perfect, but honestly, not everything that you see is the reality. People post their highlights, you know, so don't compare your life to someone else's highlights, because no one is going to post when they're having their argument. No one is going to post when, you know, they're beefing. Everyone is going to show the good times, and that doesn't mean that they're not having bad times. So just be careful what you wish for, you know. Not everything that glitters is gold, and stop envying relationships. It's so funny because all you single people that are wishing you are married, trust me when I say that there are married women who are wishing they were single. And that is just life. That's just human beings for you. That is how we are, unfortunately. We're always wanting for something else, but this season is going to end. Seasons change, you know, but you don't need to rush out of this season, because this is a season that, trust me, should be enjoyed, you know. And by the way, there is a very thin line between enjoying being single and being anti-relationship. So I'm not advocating that you should hate relationships, and you know, if someone's trying to speak to you, no, I'm enjoying being single, I don't have time, I enjoy my own company. I don't mean like that. I mean, you know, just enjoy that season, and when Mr. Right does come along, you have, you know, done the work and you're ready. So in summary, I would just say it's a beautiful thing to be married, and it's a beautiful thing to be in a relationship with someone that you love and be in love, but being single is also equally just as beautiful, and it's very important to use that time to get to know yourself, to maintain your independence, and just to grow and be the best version of you that you can be, so that when you do get into a relationship, you can give the best you to whoever it is that you find. So yeah, this is a bit of a short one. I just wanted to throw a few quick points, and I hope it was helpful. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope, you know, I've given you a few tips to think about and to hopefully help you to enjoy this stage in your life, because trust me, you are fine by yourself for now. God has something great coming for you, and you just need to enjoy this season, because every season comes to an end. You're not going to be single forever, baby girl, okay? So just be patient, work on yourself, and enjoy this beautiful time, because there's going to be so many things you miss about this time. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.